listeners and readers of AwardsWatch.com. This is the Awards Watch Podcast. I am your host, Ryan McQuade, and joining me today is everybody. Everybody's here this week. We come back after being gone for 1 week, and everybody decided to come back. So I'm here with Erik Anderson.
Hi.
Tyler Doster.
Hi.
Nicole Ackman.
Hello, hello.
Sophia Ciminello.
Happy Halloween.
Dan Bayer.
Happy pumpkin season.
Josh Parham.
Hello, hello.
And Kevin Lee.
Happy Halloween weekend.
Okay. But so we're usually, the last time we were all here together, we did the summer movie draft, and that went really well for half of us and really poorly for the other half of us. See review of Falling very soon in a couple of weeks. Anyway, we decided to do another draft, and we're only really doing the last 2 months of the year, mostly because one, if not all of us, have been at movie festivals, and we would have probably done like a September to December sort of draft if we had planned that a bit of ahead. But since we were all so busy and seeing so many movies and talking about so many things, life got in the way. And so now we're all here, same teams as last time. So Erik's team is going to try to avenge their loss. My team's trying to go for the 2022 sweep. And there's still, though, with 2 months left to go in this year, plenty of movies to talk about, plenty of interesting things that could happen at the box office. So, Erik, I'm curious, did your team sort of strategize like they did last time to try to fix the mistakes that you guys did? Or did you just throw all caution in the wind and say, we're just going to pick the 4 movies we think and pray to God that you don't get beat down again?
So much for wanting a shorter podcast, because what the hell? That was just like 70 minutes of intro there.
No.
I don't think we failed that much. I think you just got super, super lucky. Because when we got the numbers, though, at the end, it was much closer than you'd think.
It was.
And if your little plane movie had not made $700 million and just made like 175, which is pretty much the max for Tom Cruise anyway, then we'd be talking different. So you lucked out, and congrats to you. That's great.
But
we'll see what this season looks like.
But it did make that money, and you did lose anyway.
But it did, and it wasn't based on strategy. So good luck.
Oh, we're picking it again. Did you not know that?
There's strategy involved in this one
Box office is still going for it.
Fewer.
That is true. And so
a shorter time.
It'll be really interesting also too to see how they all play out. So for many of y'all that have not listened to the previous draft, I'm just going to quickly go through what the rules were. Last time we did 5 movies in a bomb pick. This time we're doing 4 movies in a bomb pick. And so we take the 4 films each teams are going to pick. Everyone will individually pick one, and then the other team will give a bomb pick based off a movie they think will do poorly at the box office. Those 4 picks by that team are the ones that they think will do well based off of not just how they will do box office wise beyond their budget, but also how they will do critically, both with a sort of the means of Rotten Tomatoes and critics and Metacritic combined. And there's points given out. If you're below the 60% mark of critics, you lose points. If you're below your budget, you lose points. I don't think there were a lot of points lost in the last one, but there were some significant ones for like Jurassic Park. What is it? What was that? Dominion or whatever. That thing critically did not do well, so I lost some points. But other than that, it was, like Erik said, it was pretty close, even though we all kind of figured that the Top Gun movie pushed it over the top. But in the spirit of being fair this go around, Erik's team will be going first, and we will have the first pick in the bomb category, my team. And so the teams, again, just for everybody out there, it is Erik, Sophia, Dan, and Kevin. And my team is myself, Nicole, Josh, and Tyler. Okay, so those are the rules. All that. Everything's a fair game. It's a new season. Looking forward to it. So, Erik, your first pick of this draft is?
I'm going first with the first pick. And, very clearly, this is between one of 2 movies for the first pick. And whatever I say next we know what you're going to say next because there are two movies challenging for this top spot.
Are you taking Lightyear again?
Oh,
Okay. All right. Anyway.
listen to you. You're coming in.
You're very cocky for a man who only won because of one movie.
Very much.
Still won.
I just wanted.
It's funny. It's funny how everyone guys keep saying because of one movie, and yet we still won. Anyway.
Yeah, I just wanted for the record. I am not as cocky as Ryan, so he does not represent.
I believe you, Josh.
I believe you, Josh.
Take pity on the rest of us. We have one cocky team member.
Yes.
Anyway, to answer your question, Ryan, before you interrupted me, I'll
mute you.
Yes, this is between kind of 1 and 2 movies, either Avatar or Black Panther, both massive box office successes in their first versions. Some very different types of box office. Black Panther was very front loaded and did well, and Avatar was not when it opened, but did very well. So there's a lot to think about and a lot to strategize in this choice. And ultimately, we have gone with Avatar: The Way of Water as our number 1 pick.
Oh my God, what a shock.
I'm shocked that you didn't make Ryan take Avatar.
It wasn't considered.
We considered it.
No, it's a good pick. I know Kevin and I were talking. Well, no, that didn't work out last time.
Biggest box office hit of all time, baby.
I'm ready to cut my fingers off with garden shears, Ryan. If you don't chill out.
I will say this is that this will be, I think these two top picks, because obviously our pick is Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. So I think that this is where we can lead into a little bit of a discussion here real quick, is the fact that these two movies will be getting kind of battle tested to see how big a draw they really are. Because if anything we saw from like Thor and some of the other Marvel properties that aren't Spider-Man, is there seems to be a little bit of a drop internationally than what was pre-pandemic for Marvel. And then on the other side of it, you have James Cameron, who is tempting the fates again with a movie that for some people has not aged particularly well. It's been 10 years. The landscape of blockbuster filmmaking has been different. I know that the film was re-released and everybody was, really excited to see that, but that was a proven film for those fans to see a movie that they already knew was good. This is like a 3-hour and 10-minute film. It's going to be very long. And if it is not good, then I wonder about people going back to seeing it. Plus, I worry with certain international markets still not open yet or fluctuating, if it will have the legs that it did the last time. So there is a little bit of worry from both ends. But I think we can confidently, like you said, Eric, say these are the top 2 films remaining in the year in terms of box office.
Yeah, Avatar is long. Over 3 hours means fewer screenings, and Black Panther is 240 or 245. So we are in an era of epically long films that will impact the box office.
Yeah. Anybody else have anything to say about these picks?
I mean, I will just say that, far be it from me to actually talk up the other team, but I think Avatar's strength is actually going to be international. Because Black Panther did very well domestically, but not that it struggled in international territories, but it wasn't as strong. Whereas Avatar, like the bulk of that money came from outside of the United States, as it always does, but it was like $2 billion worth of box office outside of the United States.
And that's kind of the thing. Black Panther doubled its total almost, when you included international, and Avatar's was like quadrupled.
Yeah, it was like 70% of the box office was from international.
But to Ryan's point, it's the international box office is a little
weaker than it was before. I mean, it's pre-pandemic, you know what I mean? And 10 years ago at this point.
Sure. I do think Avatar is kind of a special case though. But they're both very strong cases.
I'm also a little worried about our film, just because I know that sometimes the more female-centric Marvel films don't do the box office that other ones do. So we'll see if it gets hurt by that. But who knows?
It's a little surprising that the tracking for Black Panther is so far below the opening of the first. It seems like there's a lot of excitement around it.
Yeah,
And
there
that
is.
trailer has been playing before every movie,
Everything.
and it plays really, really fucking well.
And then
But-
also,
So
Tracking has historically lowballed
yeah.
black films anyway,
it's true.
regardless of what they are.
Well, and also it's going to be collectively for audiences the first time in a theater we all will be able to, celebrate, mourn the loss of Chadwick Boseman in this franchise. And from early indications is that there is a lot of moving tributes to him. And I think that beyond also introducing like new characters and everything as well, will play really well for the film. I think they both have their advantages and disadvantages, but they still probably have more advantages than outweigh their disadvantages. And they'll be,
I mean, like
box office
neither of
hits.
them is going to be the box office sensation that Aquaman was. So I think we can all just
that's very true. That's very true.
calm down on that
Very
front. We all know where water-based cinema truly peaked.
Damn right.
With Aquamarine.
Yeah, with Patrick
I was
Wilson.
going to say with Waterworld, but
Patrick Wilson riding a seahorse. We love to see it. Eric, your team's next pick is?
I'm going to hand this over to Dan, who is going to reveal our number 2.
So when we were looking at the landscape for the year, obviously we got the 2 big behemoths, and then you have to think about what the studios are counter programming with and what are going to be the big movies for people who don't really care about superheroes and fantasy and things that are digital. And so we decided that we are going to go with Hollywood's foremost lover of classic Hollywood in the new classic Hollywood party movie Babylon. Because let's face it, who doesn't want to watch Margot Robbie wrestle a snake?
And do
I
coke
can't
off
think of a
whatever
single
she's
person.
doing coke off in that.
Yes. I like this movie has the ensemble cast to end all ensemble casts for this year. Every single one of them is hot right now and have been, in some cases, Miss Jean Smart have been hot for quite a while. So yes, it is a big budget, although not as big as we thought. Yes, it is a big bloated runtime. Yes, it could be a filthy fucking mess, but this is gonna get at like bare minimum 5 Oscar nominations, so that will also boost its box office. And Damien Chazelle has yet to fail at the box office, so we feel good about this pick.
Yet, no, I mean, First Man wasn't as big a success as La La Land was, right?
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what movie you're talking about. So
Yeah, you're just kind of skipping over that movie, right?
We're going right from La La Land. To
I mean, the
Babylon.
Academy did.
We are, it's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I think with counter programming, that's a big thing besides the budget being different. It's like when I ask my parents, like, what do you want to see at Christmas? What is our movie going to be? My mom just straight up said, I'm not seeing Avatar. And I know we can't base
just hurt your own
decisions like
team.
totally off of parents, but that is like the obvious other choice, I think, for people at Christmas, even if it is, intense and they're snorting Coke as the Paramount logo in the trailer. But it has movie stars. Like whether we like him right now or not, like Brad Pitt is still a box office draw for people.
And it's got Barbie. It's got Margot Robbie.
And it has
And
Barbie.
orgies.
Yeah, exactly. Who doesn't love an orgy? So, all right. Well, that's a great number 2 pick for y'all. It's also would be interesting too about that with that $100 million price tag budget on it, if it could make it back.
It's 78 million, but okay.
78.
It's 78 to 100 is what
It's
it is.
78.
I'm leaning
Anyway,
more towards
it's
the
not
100.
200. So
Yeah.
let's
We're
stop
gonna
throwing
need to
around
see your
misinformation.
No,
work.
I'll
Eric.
email
We're gonna
Paramount,
need
see
to
what they
your
say.
work.
Okay. Anyway, our number 2 pick, it'll be Nicole Ackman.
Yeah. So for our number 2 pick, we are going to go with Strange Worlds. Animated films are typically a good bet, particularly ones from this particular studio. Obviously not always, but this one feels definitely primed to be successful. So, we felt it was a good family film to bet on, where you'll be selling multiple tickets at a time.
And also, we believe in Jake.
I can't
Starring
believe your
box
team
office
got the Jake
poison
Gyllenhaal.
Gyllenhaal.
Yeah, we believe in Jake. Unlike Eric, that's a fact. Put it on the record. And yeah, just really sad that you don't believe in him. You totally turned into a Bradley Cooper stan overnight. It's really crazy. Anyway, but no, yeah, and also that movie comes out in November, right around Thanksgiving too, as opposed to being sort of within that Avatar window. It's released after Black Panther 2, you know, so it's that's why we kind of picked it too as well. All right,
Good.
we're already on pick number 3 for Eric's team.
We are.
Eric,
We
go
are.
right on ahead. Who's doing number 3?
And we will go to Sophia with our next choice.
Yeah, so we are thinking about the beauty of cinema for this one. Thanksgiving weekend, we will be going with Steven Spielberg's The Fabelmans. It is currently sitting pretty at 94 on Rotten Tomatoes, giving us a little leg up on that score. The trailer is being played in front of every single movie, from Smile to Lyle Lyle Crocodile to everything in between. People want to go see this movie. Spielberg is a draw. Yes, you can talk about West Side Story all you want, but I think this is different. And when we think about the Oscars, if this really is our front runner for Best Picture, that box office will have some legs, hopefully, and people will go back out to see it. So The Fabelmans is our pick.
It's a good pick. It's projected by many to be the Best Picture frontrunner at this point. It's also another long movie. Isn't there
Too
like
long.
it's okay, Dan. But yeah,
I
like,
said what I said.
it's like 2.5 hours, right?
Yeah, it's long.
More.
Yeah. Okay.
Our movies are very long right
Yeah.
now.
Okay.
Our
It
list
should-
is
Movies
it
are
should
long.
have
This is
been
the
longer.
year of long fucking
Bring back
movies.
intermissions,
My
the
God.
greatest thing that movies ever did.
I
No,
truly
not
would not
intermission.
care how long a movie was if it would just give me an intermission.
Not intermissions, intervals. Thank you, RRR.
There we go.
Okay. All right. Well,
It's
They can-
also really interesting that Universal is going with a limited release for Fabelmans on the 11th before it's wide. That's not something that a Spielberg movie does. And this
No.
is not like a weird, obscure Spielberg. So testing it like that, I think, is fascinating.
yeah.
Obviously, I hope it works out for us, but it's gonna have humongous limited release numbers. They're gonna be hilariously big.
Mhm.
And that is, we think, really smart, just because that's gonna create stories 2 weeks out before the movie comes out.
Yeah. They've been playing it really smart all year too with the
No, it's that TIFF premiere was beyond. That was amazing. And
Mhm.
yeah.
and then now they'll be the last note
And they're
of
closing
the,
AFF.
yeah, they're closing AFS, so they'll be the last note of the fall festivals right before its release, and then you know the critics run. So yeah, and it's limited run. It's a good pick. I don't know the budget yet. Do you guys know the budget yet on that film yet or not? No, and so that'll be interesting to see how much.
I think it's like
hit-
$10 million. He really,
Oh
really
yeah, he
did
really
a
scaled it
shoestring.
back, right? He was just like
Incredible. I don't know how he did
shot
it.
using his
Made it on
old
a shoestring
full
budget.
cameras.
It was
Yeah.
like 16 millimeter, and everybody worked for scale.
he was like, Michelle, take no money this time. You know what I mean?
well, she already did that for
all the money in the
Money
world. Yeah, so she was comfortable with it, right? Is what you're
Yeah.
saying? Okay, that makes that's rude. But it makes sense.
well placed misogyny, Ryan. Excellent job. Good job.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, please don't even start. Okay. Our next pick is going to be by Tyler. So Tyler, go right on ahead and tell them what we're picking.
So for our next movie, we're basically thinking it's coming out on December 21st, right before Christmas. So we're thinking it can have a big showing that week. We are going to go with I Want to Dance with Somebody. I think that mass audiences love biopics at this point. They love seeing musical biopics. And I think, you know, the subject matter of it, I think is really going to draw people, especially on Christmas Day, which is one of the busiest days of the year for movie theaters. I can see it doing pretty well for the first couple weeks and hopefully maintaining. I didn't see a budget on this one quite yet that I could find. So I'm not sure what that is, but hopefully it can maintain and outdo that.
Yeah. Also,
I'm impressed that y'all managed to convince Ryan that this is going to be such a hit.
Same.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's the Anthony McCartan of it all, obviously.
It's gonna make Bo Rap numbers. What are you guys talking about?
That trailer does play very well.
It does.
I have been in theaters twice where that trailer has played, and it has gotten applause.
Yeah, and also too, it's about counter programming. I mean, if Avatar doesn't do as well, and people don't want to go see Babylon for whatever reactions that the critics give out, something of a safe pick for audiences is a Whitney Houston biopic. You know what I mean? And they've done pretty well for themselves over the last, I mean, shoot, I'm not saying that it's going to do Elvis numbers, but I don't think it'll nearly have the budget of Elvis, to be honest with it. And so I think it could be a moderate little hit that doesn't affect too much. And it also could still be an Oscar player, down the road. Who knows? We haven't seen or heard much about it yet. So
I would also say that unlike something like Respect, which came out and didn't really do that much, I think this is a different case where it's a little bit more of a contemporary artist. I mean, all due respect to Aretha Franklin, but I think that that's a specific audience that doesn't come out to the movies all that much. I think Whitney Houston is a whole different ballpark.
Yes, her fans are much younger and they are much more passionate than fans of Aretha. And also is coming out in December 2022, whereas when Respect came out, its core audience was not going to the movies yet.
Yeah, it was in like an August release.
It was August, and that was a whole year after, and they moved that date around a whole lot too.
A whole lot.
No, I think this is a great pick. It was obviously on our list. So it could go a lot of ways.
Yeah, that whole December block there, those 2-week block could go many a different avenue for so many. So yeah. All right, Eric. It's your team's final pick. I believe we'll be hearing from Kevin here, if I'm not mistaken.
Maybe Kevin's not doing one. So
maybe he doesn't want to talk. I
don't know. But yes, Kevin is going to reveal our fourth and final pick.
Yeah, so for our fourth and final pick, we're going for, the small but classic idea of a fixed location, not too many actors, so low budget, but extremely genre-y, so the people know exactly what they're going to get. And it's a movie that's coming out in December, in time like for us to be in the Christmas mood, or the Die Hard mood, except this time let's hope that the main character can actually say, now I have a machine gun, ho ho ho. And so our fourth and final pick is Violent Night.
Right. Okay.
Kevin, the way that you introed that like it was going to be The Whale, I almost cried.
That was a work of art.
Yeah.
I started to get actually a little bit nervous. I'm like, Kevin, did you read the notes? Kevin.
Just typing profusely in
my God.
chat. Silent Night.
Violent Night,
Silent Night, same thing. Who cares? It's David Harbour as Santa Claus against John Leguizamo, who's being discount Alan Rickman in a Die Hard bloody affair thing. Yeah. I'm glad that you guys picked that. We almost gave you that as a bomb pick, to be honest with you.
Why you would? There's no way it has a budget that would be even remotely close to.
Because I don't think it's going to get good reviews at all. Like,
horror is still making in the big bucks.
Good.
The Black Phone was really good for our team last time.
And Krampus, kind of a big hit. We feel,
and people have it has screened and got good reactions. So
honestly, I will give y'all, I'm very excited for it. So
see?
Yeah.
I'm a non-horror queen.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't even call that horror. It just looks like an action film. It's not horror. Nothing scary.
Either
about
way,
the damn film.
whatever it ends
I think
up
it's a good pick. I'm gonna say it. I think it's a good pick.
Like
Very
hyping up like this is supposed to be some spooky movie about him playing Santa Claus. It just looks like Die Hard with a Santa costume that he got at the mall.
And it looks fucking rad.
Yeah.
My entire family.
Santa fucking go crazy.
That is what my whole family wants to go see together.
I love that for you, Nicole.
There we go.
And Dan knows just how funny that is for my family, but
the family pick of the holiday season, Violent Night.
All right.
And my mother has specified already she does not want to see The Fabelmans. So Violent Night it is.
Well, there you go. Sorry, Papa Spielberg. All right. Not winning in that household. Okay. Our final pick will be presented by Josh Parham.
Yeah. So speaking of violence, we did kind of we were thinking about what should be this final pick, and it can get kind of tough at this point when you're not necessarily scraping the bottom of the barrel, but you're looking for a different kind of strategy. And I think we all sort of agreed that this is something that is definitely counter programming and may not be a monster hit, but it has something in it that is definitely going to drive people to the theater, I think, in enough numbers where it'll be a decent size take in for it. And that is Bones and All.
In the Timothy stands we trust.
I did not see that coming.
We talked about this.
Mhm.
We discussed this and a couple of the other like smaller budget potential Oscar plays. And one of the reasons we ended up not going with it is that, Timmy fans are legion, but they're not that legion.
Yeah, and I know that too, for sure. However,
people are saying it's his hottest film, so I think they might be legion on this one.
We'll see.
My
It is
sister
still
has
going.
already been talking about seeing it 2 to 3 times.
It is still very
really,
much an art
really
house
good.
movie, and it's so good. I love it. But
So good.
yeah,
But I mean, he shows up like 30 minutes in, but it's really
well, it's still the marketing for sure, And I think that unlike something like, say, Beautiful Boy, this I feel like has the potential to reach more. It sounds weird to say a more broad audience, but like it sort of has roots in YA. It's about they're selling it as a young couple in love and mixing that with horror, counter programming too around that time for Thanksgiving when it goes wide. I can see it having some things in there that will get it some success. Like I said, not a monster hit, but I think enough where we'll be okay with it.
Also, too,
if your family is not going for Bones and All for Thanksgiving, what are you even
what
doing?
are you doing?
It's true though.
What are you doing?
Exactly. Yes.
Get your
We
ants
will
around
be.
the table and go watch that.
We will
You're
be
looking
too.
good.
The other thing that sort of worried us about it is like, how wide is this thing actually going to ever release?
I think it'll release pretty wide and do decently.
I mean, it is
I think
another one I think
we'll
is going to have a good
see.
PTA in limited release.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the
I
budget's
think
like
so,
19
absolutely.
million, 20 million. It's
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
like
It's not huge. Yeah.
Yeah.
No. And then
I
also
want it to do well. I
also-
love it. It's one of my favorites of the year.
also too, it is a movie that has reviewed very, very well. And just like the Fabelmans that you guys got the one up on that there for those reviews, it's one of the best reviewed films of the year so far. So it already got checks in those boxes for that as well as Pink.
Yes.
So yeah, and also too, if some of you guys took some big swings like Babylon, if it underperforms or something that we have that underperforms, you know what I mean? Kind of like if Strange Worlds underperforms like Lightyear did for some reason, then a small little film like that won't hurt as much as taking something else. That's might be a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
So
By round 4, it's about minimizing damage.
Exactly.
Absolutely 100%. Honestly, round 2 is really that.
Yeah.
2, 3, and 4 is just like,
you're just
Like,
like
let's
you're
just-
hanging on.
let's just
Yeah.
see where number 1 lands because everything else is gonna,
All right. Well, those are the picks that we have, but we have to still give out like holiday gifts to one another in a bomb pick. So
It's kind of like coal in the stocking.
yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think I will give out the gift here to you guys. I don't think it's going to be like a giant like smack in terms of like the what was it? What did we give you last time? We almost tried to give you like that Man from Toronto.
You gave
thing.
us the Bob's Burgers movie, which was a huge critical hit.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm going to do the opposite of that. I'm going to give you a movie that I already know has bad reviews and Eric hates it. And it's one of the worst films of the year that he despises. And I know that this movie's not going to make a dime. And I'm going to give you Florian Zeller's acclaimed poster with all the quotes of the sun, baby. Take it in. Oh yeah,
They
that's
put
for you.
every good thing that's ever been said about it on that poster.
Yeah,
and all from one outlet.
One outlet.
I
One
mean,
person.
people are going to see it after Hugh Jackman gets nominated for an Oscar. So thanks.
Sure.
I
But I
also
can't
think
wait to
much like
share-
Timothy.
Yeah, I can't wait to share this with Sony Classics and Florian Zeller after you just interviewed him last week. Cannot wait to share that.
Oh
Mhm.
yeah, because I'll go back to the post TIFF episode and share your thoughts on the film as well with them. How about that? Thank you.
Yeah, I've already deleted that. Doesn't
Yeah, I
even-
know you have. You're like, all evidence
Look-
gone. Could
look-
somebody screen grab it and send it to Eric right now?
Like
Let's
you know
go.
how Nicole's sister is already planning to see Bones and All 2 to 3 times. The old ladies at Lincoln Center have already started lining up for the sun. So
the
you
blue
know,
They're
hairs
ready.
are going to
Just
come
saying.
for
I
Hugh
think
the
Jackman.
blue
Dan-
hairs are ready.
Dan, I think they're lining up to see their son, not the son. For the
Mhm.
holidays.
Zen McGrath.
You don't know these.
The
blue
Zen
hairs.
McGrath stands? Oh my God, the
They're
Zen
coming
McGrath
out,
stands,
yeah.
they're gonna go off more than Timothy Chalamet, right, guys? I
Mhm.
mean, good lord.
He's the new Timothy Chalamet, so thank you.
That hurts even to joke about.
But yeah, I mean, I can't imagine it being like more than maybe a $25 million budget, but you never know. It could
Less than that.
be
Speaking of one location, almost.
yeah, it could be about
No,
30,
most of that
35.
was Hugh
Locations.
Jackman's
Those
salary.
salaries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hugh
yeah.
Jackman's-
Laura Dern, I want $50 million for this film. Here you go.
Hugh Jackman does not
She
work
didn't
for
need to take a
scale.
salary for this because she got it for Jurassic Park.
That's
or
true.
World, or
That's true.
the one-
Or
the
what-
thing.
yeah, the
All
I
of
thing.
hope she got some money out of this.
Yeah,
Oh,
'cause-
you know she got more than the budget of the sun.
Yeah.
No, I meant out of the sun.
But yeah, so that's
I hope not,
y'all's
'cause she's
bomb pick.
terrible in it.
There's your bomb pick. So
All right.
Okay.
Cool.
We can handle
Uh,
that.
I
Oh,
think
we're
we
I'm
can-
good with that.
I think we can work with that. And
Mhm.
Sophia is going to
of
reveal
course she is.
our bomb pick for you.
Yeah. So, what happens when you take a Best Actor winner and a Best Actress winner and their individual children and they all come together for a movie? You get our bomb pick, 2022's film, Sam and Kate.
And you are all saying, "What
I'm
the
sorry,
fuck
have
is
you
that?"
not
The Dustin
heard of this
Hoffman-
film with
The Dustin
and
Hoffman
Sissy
Sissy
Spacek
Spacek. Yeah.
from Vertical
I do know what
Entertainment?
that is.
Mhm.
Yep.
Vertical
Dustin
entertainment, that's
Hoffman,
like cheating.
Sissy
That is-
Spacek.
No, it's not. It's getting a
Dave
theatrical
Hoffman.
release.
No, I
Is
know.
it
I'm just
though?
saying, like, it's so bad it almost feels like cheating.
It just played at the Austin Film Festival the other night.
Of course
Yeah.
it did.
Yep, it did.
We love
All
to
right.
see it. You know, Sissy Spacek and Jack Fisk's daughter, Skylar Fisk. Jake Hoffman, who looks so much like Dustin Hoffman on this
How did I
poster.
not see this coming? My God.
You know, we had to go
Good
this
for
route.
y'all.
I
I'm
respect
kinda-
it.
We
I
do
I
do.
love to
respect
see
the
it because
hustle.
nobody else will.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. Oh my God.
That's a good strategy. Look for vertical entertainment.
Yeah,
They're
just
really-
look for their
movies that will make no money. Yeah, just go right there.
Their biggest
Vertical
hit-
and Gravitas Ventures.
Yes.
Thank
Yeah.
you. And Dark Star.
Yeah, Dark Star. Love Dark
The
Star.
biggest hit from Vertical was the Tom Hardy Gotti movie, which only struggled across $4.5 million because or John Travolta because of the bad reviews. So it's
I was like, Tom Hardy? What the hell?
no, Tom Hardy did the
Capone.
movie.
Capone from
Yeah.
Vertical Entertainment.
Yeah, that's not that movie.
Just one hit after another from them.
Yeah, they're really just swinging for the fences. Yeah.
All
I
right.
will
know.
give Vertical Entertainment credit though. When they know something is like super shitty and bad, they kind of
They just
run
dump
with
it.
it.
Yeah.
Because we did the review for the Tom Hardy Capone movie, and I talked with the writer and to curate the headline, and I was like, you know what, let's have some like real fun with this, and it was like, you know, this is like the biggest piece of shit like of all time, and I
Literally, if you watch the
I-
movie.
that was the headline, and they were like, this is
Thanks.
hilarious. The director was like, all right.
Well, what could the director say?
Yeah,
But
what is
it-
Josh Trank gonna
So,
say?
you know,
He's just like
Vertical
he's making
Entertainment
movies.
knows what they are.
Oh yeah, and to be fair to them, like they're an indie distribution house. Like it's tough out there. I get it. I'm just saying for
Bless their hearts.
our purposes, yes. Like their movies don't make any money. So for the purposes of a bomb pick, yes, it is very appropriate.
Just
and
hoping
to
for
be
decent
real,
reviews.
we didn't just look, at these like little tiny nothing movies. We looked at everything.
Yeah.
Like a lot of big movies. Puss in Boots, which we have not mentioned.
Nobody mentioned Puss in Boots. Nobody took it.
Only other major family animated film this season, but it's such a mystery of what it's going to do and what it could do. So there was a lot of conversation about what this pick would look like.
Oh yeah. I mean, were there any other films that you guys? I feel like we
Devotion.
Devotion, yeah, but that
$90 million.
that $90 million price tag, I was like,
that was one of those movies that was on both lists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
really well.
To me, honestly,
a massive bomb.
We almost thought about The Menu, but that's a $35 million budget right there.
Yeah,
and
same here.
It's
we
like,
thought about that.
What do you do with that? We weirdly thought, oh well, I guess we'll take The Menu if y'all took Bones and All, to be honest.
That never.
We talked about The Menu too.
We talked about The Menu, but Bones and All was not.
Early on, I mentioned Empire Light as a bomb pick.
We were worried you were going to give that to us as a bomb, actually.
With like 45 on Rotten Tomatoes right now.
Which just sounds so low.
I just can't imagine that budget also not being over $50 to $60 million, given all that.
I don't know. How much could 2 dozen skinheads actually cost?
You would know. Ask at the next meeting.
Eric. Oh no.
Not that much. Oops, spoiler alert. Sorry.
Well, and then there was there were smaller films, obviously, like She Said, and there were women talking, obviously.
Honestly, I think The Whale is also sort of interesting because
I heavily considered The Whale because under $10 million budget, and Brendan Fraser's comeback is like the story of the non-blockbusters.
Yeah, and Dan, you mentioned it. I know you were joking with the Sun, but like the minute he's nominated and starts giving like a Golden Globe speech, or whatever, it's. I mean, people are going to flock to it because they're going to be like, why is he winning this award?
The Whale is the type of movie that like a decade to 2 decades ago would have been a surprise like $80 to $100 million hit just on word of mouth in the Oscar nominations. But unfortunately, we're not in that era anymore where these really small movies can make that kind of money, even with a big star.
Well, like you even look at something like The Wrestler, that was a $6 million budget and it made $45 million at the global box office.
And to that point, Ryan, we talked about this in our chat, and maybe we'll talk a little more offline about it, but maybe turning at least this part of the box office to more of a percentage than a hard number thing might be a much more interesting way for small movies like that to compete with a giant blockbuster. So if something has like a $1 million budget and it makes $10 million, that's a massive increase on the budget versus just being $9 million. Versus talking about, a $200 million blockbuster that makes $800 million.
Maybe. I mean, we're gonna have to change. I think next year when we do this one, we'll do it early enough before the festivals. We just all got so busy, but and then that'll, we won't have reviews to sort of sway some of our picks as well. And I'm not saying that as
we could also make the fall thing more like
Oscar-y,
critics' choice, critics' picks rather than box office.
That too. But we're living in the rules we have now, and they are what we have, and that's what we made our picks off of. And so, Eric, can you just run down what your team has for your picks and your bomb pick before we?
I absolutely can do that. Yes, we have Avatar, Babylon, The Fabelmans, and Violent Night, which I do have to say those were our those were our picks. We did not have
What
to
we
go,
expected to get.
we
Yeah.
did not have to go with an alternate with any of those.
Okay.
And our bomb pick is the obviously Oscar friendly and box office hit Sam and Kate.
Yeah. Well, no, that's our bomb pick.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's
Oh,
that-
okay. I was saying that what your bomb pick was.
No.
Yeah, your bomb pick is The Sun.
Yeah, but that's yeah. I'm
yeah,
just
your favorite movie of the year.
what yours is.
Yeah.
We're good with The Sun.
I know.
That is going to
I'm
make
really
money.
happy
Put
with
that
it,
on. Put that on the
honestly.
poster. I'm good with The
We're,
Sun. Fit it in there with the other.
I'm
quotes.
down with the kids, yo.
We'll let Zim McGrath know.
Okay, so our team has Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. We have Strange Worlds. We have Bones and All, and oh my god, I forgot the other pick. It's been
I want to dance with somebody.
and I want to dance with somebody. And our
You
bomb-
didn't forget. You didn't want to pick it.
No, I've done a lot today. I'm tired. And our bomb pick is the future Best Picture winner from the people that voted for Coda, Sam and Kate. Clearly gonna just be Virgo Horizons here. Yeah, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. Virgo Entertainment. Woohoo! All right. I know that some of our great folks here have to leave. So Nicole Ackman, thank you for coming on the show. Can you tell everybody out there where they can find you and your work?
Absolutely. Sorry to dash out, but you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd at Nicole Ackman 16. You can find my work over at AwardsWatch and at Oscar Central.
All right. And Nicole, thank you once again. Hopefully we're not having to watch a bad movie come January or February.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed a
crossed.
second
All right.
victory for our team.
good luck with that.
Good luck with it. All right. Okay. Well, I'm going to go over into some listener questions and then we will get out of here. It's going to be a shorter episode this week. So Ben wants to know, speaking of box office, how much does the mid-tier box office play a role in Oscar recognition? Doesn't the box office legs of something like The Woman King seem like a sign of things to come for it? Who wants to start? Who wants to go? Anybody? No? I think it's a good thing for that movie, to be honest with you. And I think it's a case-by-case basis. Some films need the box office, and some films don't need the box office to help its Oscar chances. Something like The Woman King getting that A+ cinema score, getting the box office and showing that audiences really like it and really want to see it beyond its stellar reviews is a very good thing. I think box office has played a big indication this year because Eric, you and I were having that talk at Telluride about box office, if you remember, and we were saying to a bunch of people that we were sitting next to about Top Gun Maverick and why it's done so well at the box office and that's what's kept it in the race, and you're like, oh, that's not going to happen or whatever. And I looked at you and I said, well, if Everything Everywhere All at Once didn't make the money that it had, would it still be in the race? That $100 million storyline is a huge thing to help it, other than just being like a typical A24 film that critics love and film Twitter likes. But that $100 million really kind of helps also to show that movie is more than just typical A24 fare. It's a hit, and people, like audiences, really wanted to see it and embrace it, and so could the Academy.
It depends on how a movie is sold. If a movie is sold as a crowd pleaser but doesn't have the crowds to please, then it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
But if a movie is sold as a big crowd pleaser, potential blockbuster, and it does make that, then that helps it.
Yeah, no, for sure.
It's a case-by-case basis, like you said. It depends on the movie and the audiences that are there, and honestly, just how the race shapes out at the end of the day. Because once major precursors start announcing, sometimes completely different narratives take over. So, box office can help, but it's one of many pieces that go into an Oscar campaign.
And I think every year we have this same conversation of mid-tier, mid-budget adult dramas, and even the Woman King is equal action and drama, but we have the same conversation that, oh my god, as soon as something feels like a modest hit, it's like, here's the return of the adult drama. We have triumphed once again. And then it doesn't really turn out that way. We're not really in the same place that we were in 1980 or 1990, where a mid-range adult drama could be not only a massive box office hit, but a huge Oscar hit as well. Yeah. So I think that The Woman King, although it has, against its $50 million box office, it's got really good box office numbers. It came out mid-September. There are going to be a lot of other films competing for a very similar style and place. So it's less about the movie than it is about the concept of what mid box office success means.
Yeah. You have to wonder if that movie is going to be the mid-tier, like adult film, or are they going to consider it with the blockbusters, and then are voters going to weigh it against like Top Gun Maverick, or if they really love Black Panther 2, or if they love Avatar 2, or it all depends. I mean, some people have like 900 blockbusters in their in their predictive 10 right now. Some people don't have any, because it's because we don't really know what they're going to respond to, because of the fact that movies moved and some movies didn't perform as well during the festival runs, so it's kind of hard to see where those are at. But having an A+ cinema score and some money behind it really is going to help. Sophia, were you going to say something?
Yeah, I think with The Woman King, what I'm looking for, because it has performed so well with audiences and it has someone like Viola Davis at the center of it, is just to see how well it performs at guilds, like more populist groups. So does it get a SAG Ensemble nomination? Does it show up at a place like DGA, something like that, where we're like, okay, we do have to take this very seriously, because these guilds are also considering it, because you do have people who are really well liked by people in the industry and audiences. I also am curious about the Golden Globes, because now that they're back and they're televised and we have this split between comedy and musical and drama, like, will having more slots in those categories make room for it to get a televised sort of celebration or recognition?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then also too, like, I think it was just announced this week that Jenny Prince Bythewood's getting like the Visionary Award from the Ace Eddies, if I'm not mistaken. So, and she's been getting some festival prizes, some honorary festival prizes as well. So the film's out there. It's making the runs. I know it was out at Middleburg, and she was out there and had a conversation with Jazz 10 Cake from Variety. So, I think that movie also could be very much in the hunt for one of those PGA 10 spots as well too. So we'll just have to wait and see. But there's a ton of other like mid-tier films out there as well too.
There is, and it's TriStar Pictures, which is a subsidiary of Sony and Columbia, and they have I Want to Dance with Somebody. So it will be really interesting to see where they split their time and attention. Yeah. As well as obviously the stars and where they are. Yeah.
It's kind of also too, when you hear Viola talk about it, it's this passion project and everything for her too.
I mean, I can listen to her talk anytime about anything.
Yeah, I don't, and she's a producer on the film. It kind of feels like one of those where it's like, I don't count out Viola Davis, but is that talking about a movie the whole season at your own peril.
Is that when the September release was an advantage or a disadvantage?
I mean, get that movie out there, make its box office, say it's a hit, A+ cinema score. That, I mean, no other movie did that. No other movies are, some other, and it also plays well for her too in the Best Actress race, because the movie was a hit. Not a lot of the other
A+ cinema score, and I think Top Gun did too.
Yeah, and Till now.
Yeah, I just said Till.
No, okay, sorry.
Yeah.
The
Woman King, though, did have, I would say, like a larger, it's harder, I feel like, to pull off an A+ cinema score if more people are seeing your movie when I compare it to Till.
Yeah.
Not to disparage that movie, but just a context for the cinema score.
Yeah. Josh wants to know, not our Josh, different Josh, wants to know, how are y'all feeling about The Whale as an above the line Oscar contender at this point? Where do you have it landing noms?
Really freaking good.
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah.
It is for sure picture, picture, actor, supporting actress, screenplay.
Same.
And the supporting actress is Hong Chow.
Obviously.
Should be, yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Obviously.
No, I'm just clarifying because there's multiple people in that film that you can consider.
I mean, that is currently who I have predicted, but I believe it has one spot in that category for either of them.
Yeah, and it's going to go to the one that deserves it. So
So I haven't seen
that
The
would
Whale
be
yet.
Samantha Morton, who she's having quite the
you
Samantha
know
Morton
what?
needs her own category so that she
Yes.
can get in for She Said and The Whale because she is
best one scene cameo.
Come on, make
That's
that
one scene
category.
Domination. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sophia?
I haven't seen the movie yet, but what I will say is that if you have Brendan Fraser as your winner, that means you need to put the movie in picture. Like that is just
At
sort of how
minimum.
it goes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Adapted
Aronofsky
is so thin too. So
Yeah.
and I'm not counting Aronofsky out in director yet either. I have him in. This is something of a return for him after Mother, which was very
masterpiece.
divisive.
Yeah, his best movie.
my favorite
Like I
movie of
completely
his.
agree. It's
Yeah, it is his best
incredible.
movie.
Mhm.
It is incredible, but that was a very divisive
Yeah.
movie that
Mhm.
like alienated a lot of people, and this is not that. And if everyone is saying that the last 5 minutes of this is just the tear jerkiest of tear jerkers, and if you're crying at that movie, like it'll be hard to not put his name down.
Yeah. The problem with the film though is we don't have a poster and we don't have a trailer, and they have really just been
Because they don't want to overexpose it, and I think that's smart.
I think there's more. I think they understand the pushback that's going to happen because
there
it
will be
already
pushback
has
from that movie.
happened.
Yeah, there will be a little bit of pushback. They also are just letting the festivals, the festival run just go through right now. Brendan's getting all these prizes and having these
Yeah,
conversations.
you want
right
to
now.
talk. You want to talk about a film or a performance that's having tributes and awards. No one
Nobody.
except for maybe like Michelle Yeoh has as many
conversations, tributes
of those
yeah,
as Frasier has. It's unreal. But yeah, to Sophia's point, I've had Frasier as my number one and since May. So because of that, I have to have The Whale in
Yeah.
the picture.
I think that
It's not Jeff Bridges.
yeah, it's not Crazy Heart.
Which,
no, but
given another couple weeks, Crazy Heart might have been in the 10.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
it got in supporting actress, one original song. It
Yeah.
did pretty well for itself. Yeah, I think that supporting actress is on the table. I think because adapted is a weak category, it clearly could get in there. And then picture. I've said it for a long time is that that about him getting in, but also too, that's gonna most likely in a traditional sense for A24, that's their big contender. And I think both of them, that and Everything Everywhere All at Once, I think will get in at this point. Because both have proven to do really well with audiences.
All Frasier needs to do is to win one televised thing and start off his speeches. I've heard like 4 of them now. That's all it's going to take.
Yeah,
All it's going to take. And
yeah.
that helps the film.
Yeah, no, it does. I also do think that. I mean, I have Frasier at number 1, but I mean, Colin Farrell's at number 2, and Banshees has
I
played really
love
well.
Colin. Ugh.
And it's that movie's very strong as well. I'm not saying I'm not saying that like I'm predicting him just yet, but I'm like that movie has played really well with a lot of people. So
I mean, I will say that's another thing to just maybe also keep an eye out is that we are all having The Whale in for picture because we assume it's going to win Best Actor. But if it does not get into Best Picture, especially with a solid 10, that is a huge red flag.
Yeah,
For sure, because something like Banshees is 100% getting.
Yeah.
And then also too, I mean, I'm gonna say it. Warner Brothers is pretty good at what they do, and if Elvis squeaks in over The Whale, a lot of people have been talking about Austin Butler, and he's gonna be in Dune next year. So just keep an eye out on that. It's not closed up yet, but I mean, yeah, you're right, Eric. He's been the talk of the town has been Brendan Fraser, and that's for sure. One speech, and it might be it, but you never know. Okay. Matt wants to know, what do you think is the best way for the Oscar ceremony to be more celebratory of the nominated films that they have every year? Anybody got an answer for this one?
My short answer is just plan ahead, please. Do things in advance.
Oh,
don't
come on,
don't
Sophia.
announce your host. No, don't announce your host 2 weeks before. Plan ahead.
That sounds
Then-
realistic.
Well,
Yeah.
and get hosts that can make jokes about movies that love movies.
Yeah,
Not jokes about how the movies are terrible.
Yeah, exactly right. My short answer is a host and writers that don't hate the movies and the Oscars.
Lady Gaga's right there. Is all I'm saying.
She offered to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the Only Murders in the
They already have
Building
dropped the
trio.
ball by not locking them in. So.
They should have had them already in some
What are
work
they
around that
doing?
schedule and everything. It's
But I mean, look at who we have. We have a producer and a director that have done the show before, so they're not going to be fresh. They're
Yeah.
going to feel a little old fashioned. But to that point, last year's producer was brand new and fresh and flopped like a dead fish on Tuesday morning. It was bad. It was a bad show.
It was a bad show.
The worst show
regardless of-
I've seen.
Yeah.
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 I mean, I have not seen
that's
many.
produced.
I've only
And
I've
that's
only
saying a
seen
lot after
one
the year
before,
before.
but it's bad.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So
Horribly
Uh,
produced show last year. So the bar is low.
Yeah.
Could go nowhere but up. I feel like they're in the right direction, but I definitely agree with Sophia. Like planning, like I think that has been what has doomed them so much is that they have left everything up to the last minute. And I remember before we were getting the news breaking about the hosts in like late November.
mhm.
It that's how it used to be. all the
Yeah.
time.
We were getting hosts before we were getting any nominations at anywhere whatsoever.
Of anything.
Yeah,
There's
that's why there was that
anticipation.
whole, I remember the whole Eddie Murphy controversy, and all that stuff that's happened way back when too, and why he wasn't a host. So it used to be like, okay, this announcement was really the kickoff of the Oscar season, to be fair, because then you knew who your host was. They were able to market it. I also think too, I have kind of slowly started turning into this camp of take the nominations and put them in a prime time television event. And that way you have some time to also maybe do a 2-hour thing where you're talking about the films. You can show trailers, you can show clips, you can have some of the actors there, live reactions, do it at the Academy Museum. Like, why the hell not showcase that place out there? And everybody doesn't have to wake up, especially Eric on the West Coast at like the crack of dawn to get those nominations. We can all sit at home at a decent hour and watch those all together and make it as if it's like the pre-Oscars rather than, a red carpet event where you're having to, where nobody watches those red carpets events anyway to learn about the movies. So
the
give it some
nominations
time.
announcement has always been about the morning talk shows and the getting the story out at an early hour. That's always what it has been.
I don't care about that.
But it is something that I think that the Oscar producers could really look to, like the Grammys, and how that semi primetime show is really successful and it's really interesting and it's going to get like actual eyeballs. You already have ABC, you already have Disney, you are there, you have the eyeballs in front of you. You could make it a primetime show. That's how you get people interested.
Yeah, no, for sure.
You don't make it super insular, while at the same time, you do still have to respect the people that have watched the Oscars their entire life.
Yeah.
There is a middle ground though.
Make a spectacle.
Yeah.
But also have fun with it
A
too.
good spectacle though, not
Yeah,
not
but
the
make
spectacle
it
from
feel
last
like
year.
you're having some fun.
The Snow White Rob Lowe year over last
Yes.
anytime.
Well, that's just good chaos, and we
'Cause
love
I
good
saw that live and it was a lot.
chaos. It's like a slow moving train.
But that man knew how to put on a show.
Yeah, no, for sure.
You need an old queen to put on the Oscars. I'm sorry.
Eric's looking for a new job.
That was
Hire back Bruce Valanche. No, I'm kidding.
I mean something, anything.
Okay. Josie wants to know, each year I do like the pairings with Best Picture with older films, like I paired Licorice Pizza last year with Rock and Roll High School. That being said, which current Best Picture contenders and older films would you do double features with? Ooh, interesting.
Easy. I would do Women Talking with the Women.
Yeah,
Boom.
Okay. There
Oh
you
my
go.
God.
I would do Triangle of Sadness with Rules of the Game.
Ooh, yes.
Solid gold pick.
That's
I love
good.
that.
Anybody else?
I went very lazy surface level, and I just said the Banshees of Inisherin and the Quiet Man.
Oh,
Oh.
okay. Oh, that's good. That's good.
I went even more basic than that and said She Said and All the President's Men.
Yep. Hey, they actually really mirror each other a lot.
Yeah.
And what they're
And,
trying to do. Yeah.
Jason Robards and Patricia Clarkson.
Oh my God.
Two sides of the same coin, I suppose.
Mhm.
But then I also had Babylon, which I obviously haven't seen yet, with Wings,
Yeah.
the Clara Bow film, because I know Margot isn't playing Clara Bow directly, but that character was inspired by her. So I thought
Yeah.
that could be a good one.
I would say Tar in the Red Shoes. Yeah.
Mm.
Interesting.
That's
I
interesting.
had Tar
One of
with
those is a
Phantom Thread.
masterpiece, and one of those is very good.
They're both really great.
Fine.
Yeah.
The other one that I was considering was Glass Onion with Murder by Death.
Yeah, I had the same pick.
I was gonna just do the Kenneth Branagh Death on the Nile with Glass Onion, so I can watch a good movie after.
Not the Kenneth Branagh, no.
No.
But
And enough
yeah.
champagne to fill the Nile.
I
Not
think
that milk toast man.
depending on what you think that the Best Picture top 10 looks like. Decision to Leave with anything from Vertigo to North by Northwest, I
Yep.
think would be
Yeah.
a
That's a
fascinating
layup.
combination.
Yeah, Decision to Leave in
Um,
Vertigo would be amazing.
I know Women Talking was already mentioned, but the antithesis maybe or opposite of that being 12 Angry Men
Angry
sort
Men.
of
Yep.
would be a way to look at then and now.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of possibilities.
I think you could watch
Mhm.
The Sun and then you watch Ordinary People, so then you can watch a good movie. You know what I mean?
That is that's my
Yeah.
idea from the
Yeah.
beginning. I can't,
Yeah.
Ordinary People will make you, I feel like, even
And
though
you'd
I
be
have
like,
not seen
"Oh,
The Sun,
And that
it'll
film
make you appreciate Redford.
dealt with mental illness a hell of a lot better than the Sun did. Yeah.
That is as polar opposite as you can get. And obviously Top Gun Maverick, so
Yeah, there you go. Josie also asked, which two actors would you like to see star in a rom-com together? Well,
So
we
I
already
have an
got
answer
Dustin
from-
Hoffman and Sissy Spacek now,
Yeah.
so we're all good on
Yeah.
that.
We're
You know?
set. Mhm.
I have an answer from Miss Nicole Ackman, who
Okay.
wants to say Adam Driver with literally anyone.
That's fair.
Adam Driver and me.
Yeah,
Adam
I was gonna
Driver
say-
needs to do more
Adam
romantic
Driver and
comedies.
everybody in here.
Yeah.
You know.
That's all
But
we need to
specifically
say.
Nicole. Yeah.
Yes.
She's pitching this movie herself. Yes.
Oh man.
I will pull
my
from
answer-
our.
go ahead.
Go ahead. No, please, Sophia. go
Oh,
ahead.
okay. My answer, I would bring Daniel Day-Lewis out of retirement and put him opposite Isabelle Huppert for like a very dramatic it would be, I mean,
Oh
it would
my
have
God.
drama
That's
to
too-
it because
that's-
they're
that's
both
too
just
much.
so spicy and prickly, but also the Ajani of it all. He was with her for so long.
Okay, so
It's
I have
just
to
so great.
imagine they murder each other within the first 5 minutes, and everything else happens in the afterlife.
Well, it's a dark rom-com in that they're a killer couple. I think that would probably what it would have to be.
Holy shit!
And it would be in Berlin or in Paris, some European city.
Oh my god!
I say let's just make reality into film and Pedro Pascal and Oscar Isaac. Let's just have them do it. Yeah. We're best friends. Let's make it happen.
I'll co-sign to that.
Yeah. No
Mhm.
complaints from me.
Yeah, no complaints from anyone here.
Yeah.
Come on.
No.
I have a few for this one.
Please.
Oh, yes.
Let's go.
Surprise.
Yes, Tyler.
My first one was Jonathan Majors and Quinta Brunson.
Oh,
I love that.
Jonathan Majors in anything. Break me.
Right.
Look,
Like-
Jonathan Majors and Glenn Powell.
Oh, Jonathan
Okay.
Majors just
That was
break me like a
Devotion
chestnut.
should have been a
Damn
romantic
it.
comedy.
Dan was gonna pull from that. Yes.
Oh my god.
What
The
else,
Creed
Tyler?
trailer.
I have Johnny Sibili and Murray Bartlett.
Oh,
And then I have Rachel Sennett and Haley Steinfeld.
Ooh.
Oh.
That's great.
These
Mhm.
are really horny picks. I
I would love to.
So I was
Oh.
going to say Rachel said it with Maya Hawke.
Oh,
True chaos.
How has that not happened already?
I just like
Yeah.
seriously.
Netflix just greenlit it. Um, I would love to see Antonio Banderas and Juliette Binoche, because I think that those are two of the sexiest people on the planet. And if you just make that movie, I think my head would explode. And make it a Pedro Almodovar film so that Juliette Binoche can work with Pedro Almodovar somehow. Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah.
That'll work. Anybody else? Any other horny options?
Yes, Dan already did the Glenn Powell, Jonathan Majors, which we had talked about in chat, which I was just like, why is Devotion not already basically like the American version of Firebird? Let's go. Come on.
Just saying.
I want to see Barry Keoghan and Ty Sheridan in like a single white female, but story.
It's called Boyfriend Twins.
Yes.
Yeah, but I already know who I'm rooting for. I'm rooting for Barry.
Yeah. Well, yes.
Naturally.
Barry is the Bridget Fonda. So yeah.
Yes.
All right. Last question. Almost every year at the Oscars, there is at least one performance in the supporting actor and actress whose film isn't in Best Picture. Who do you think that will be this year? Who's going to be Kathy Bates and Richard Jewell is what they're trying to say. Yeah.
So when I saw the still for this movie, I had this thought, which was Eddie Redmayne and The Good Nurse, because
Yeah.
I can just like see
Mm.
that
can't.
Instagram live announcement and hearing like Vanessa Hudgens saying Eddie Redmayne, The Good Nurse, and everyone just losing it in a similar way to like Jared Leto and The Little Things. Like it just feels sort of like that.
Yes, yeah. I literally just had a conversation about this earlier, that I think Eddie Redmayne in The Good Nurse could be that performance that shows up at all of these precursors, and we're like, what the hell is happening right now? Is this about to be an Oscar-nominated performance? And I still don't know if he'll get in, but I do think there's a world where he comes very close and we have to start considering things.
I literally had the exact same conversation earlier today, Josh, that he's
Yeah.
going to get Golden Globe, SAG, just like Leto did for Little Things, and then miss. Exact same.
I mean, he could even get Critics' Choice.
Yeah.
I mean, if we say it enough now, he'll get Critics' Choice. Like if we say,
Mhm.
oh, he might be an Oscar nominee, then the Critics' Choice nomination will happen. Yeah.
It's true.
Hmm.
The one that I keep coming back to, because I just don't know how this is going to go with Best Picture, is the fraudulent Carey Mulligan and She Said.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a lead performance.
And
Yeah.
also, like, if the blue hairs do come out for it, Laura Dern is right there again for The Sun.
Oh my God.
Hugh Jackman
was-
is getting in.
No, yeah.
Hugh
That
Jackman
was
is
so
getting
sad
in.
with Vanessa Kirby giving the only pass performance in that movie. If Laura Dern got in, it's her worst. It's her worst.
Also want to say this, just in a just world, Mark Rylance for Bones and All.
I was just gonna say that.
Please,
I was just gonna say
please.
that. That's the kind
Aw.
of chaos we all deserve.
My favorite performance in maybe anything this year. I
Yeah.
love him so much.
That
Oh my
was on my
God.
list for today. Anthony Hopkins in Armageddon Time.
Yep.
We really should be talking about Nicole Kidman in The Northman. She is incredible in that movie. And
I would love.
It's not gonna happen,
nothing
but, like-
Especially
more.
with
It'll
that-
never.
that Game of Thrones wig. Yeah.
I mean, get her nominated at the Globes and get Cruise nominated over in actor, and let's just have him in
Stop
the
it.
room.
Stop it right
Yeah.
now.
I don't know.
Why can't we have them in a rom com together?
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
We did. We had Eyes Wide
That's
Shut.
why shut.
We already had that.
I thought you were gonna say we had Days of Thunder, and I'm like,
Yeah,
or whatever the fuck it was called.
I'm trying to. I mean,
Far and away.
the way the movie's going. I mean, I'm just trying to think of other ones. Maybe
I don't. I have two, but I don't
yeah.
think they would get the nomination. I just want to give them a shout out.
Oh, okay. Here we go.
I just want to give a shout out to Gabrielle Union from The Inspection and Brian Tyree Henry from Causeway.
Yeah, I was gonna say Brian Tyree Henry. Yeah.
You know, I think both of those are fantastic, and like it'd be really cool to get to hear any kind of recognition from for those two performances, whether it's Oscar or not.
I mean, Don Cheadle and White Noise. I could, you know, I'd love to see that happen because I think he's great in the film. And I just don't know if that movie's going anywhere. But yeah, okay. That is listener questions, and that is the Awards Watch podcast today. So we'll start with Erik. Erik, tell everybody where they can find you in the world.
Hopefully, if you are listening to this podcast all the way through, you are already a follower at awardswatch.com, and then my musings on Twitter at awards_watch.
Go to the website. Erik just put out his October predictions as we enter into November.
Yes, with so many questions and comments, and
yeah, you got dragged a lot.
Even from you, Ryan. That's okay. You know, I can survive it, really.
I just have questions. That's all. I just ask them, and you can respond or ignore me, and you choose to respond. Yes, awardswatch.com and at awards_watch on Twitter, correct, for all your shenanigans.
Yes, and until I can, ask Elon Musk to change my user handle. Yeah,
that's true. And you'll pay.
Sure, he will listen.
You'll pay for.
You mean our benevolent overlord?
If I change it to Nazi lover, yeah, he'll probably say yes.
All right, Sophia, where can we find you on the internet?
So you can find me on Twitter at Sophia_Sim. You can find my coverage from the New York Film Festival at awardswatch.com. I have a lot of reviews up there. And you can find my podcast, Oscar Wilde. We have episodes every Friday. This week, we have one celebrating Noirvember, where we'll be talking about Double Indemnity and Sunset Boulevard. So it's going to be a great week. But yeah, you can find my podcast at Oscar Wilde Pod on Twitter as well.
Yep. Go read all that wonderful stuff that Sophia did, including still that great review of Tar. That was just fantastic.
Iconic.
Dan
just
Bayer.
Like Lydia.
Dan Bayer, where can we find you in the world?
You can find me on Twitter at Dance and Dan on Film. You can find my coverage from all the festivals and all the movies happening in New York at Awards Watch and at Next Best Picture.
Josh Parham, where can we find you, good sir, on the internet?
You can find me on Twitter at JR Parham, where there's a lot of my dispatch from the Chicago International Film Festival that wrapped up about a week or so ago. And you can find that coverage and a lot of other stuff that I do over at Next Best Picture.
Kevin Lee, where can we find all your work, sir?
You can find all of my work at Film Inquiry, That Shelf, and Awards Watch. I am on Twitter at Klee_film review, and stay tuned because I have an interview that is going to be published real soon.
Can't wait to read that. Tyler Doster, say the best for last. Where can we find all your work?
You can find me on Twitter at Tyler M. Doster, or you can find all of my work on awardswatch.com.
And you can find me on the internet at Ryan McQuade 77 on Twitter for now. Instagram and Letterboxd, and you can find my other work at In Session Film, the playlist Film Speak, but you can primarily find everything here at awardswatch.com. I just had all my interviews from the Middleburg Film Festival go up. I also had a recent interview with the wonderful Nina Haas, and we'll have some more coverage coming up over the next couple of days because Erik and I will be traveling to Los Angeles for the AFI Film Festival. Should be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We may or may not be back next week because of AFI. We'll try to do something. We'll figure it out. If anything, Erik and I maybe just do a solo dispatch like we did out of Telluride. If not, we'll try to see if we can.
We'll do better sound this time because the sound recording was not.
It wasn't the best.
Best.
Yeah, we'll figure it out though.
Yes, but I think we could probably do something just the two of us.
Yeah, we'll have some fun next week for sure. But until then, thank you all so much for listening. We'll see you next time.